What's up, guys? It's been quite some time since I've made a video, but I'm finally back in some headspace as well as some life space to make a couple. So let's just hop right into a lot of things that need to be reviewed. Now, I'm not gonna go back and cover all of the months that I have missed just because I don't remember a lot of the thoughts that I initially had like I would after, it being the month after. So we're just going to go with last month. So that's June. Let's talk about things that I saw, read, and whatnot in June. TV, I watched two different TV shows. I watched Jessica Jones and I watched Riverdale, both on the third season of their shows. I wasn't wowed by either. With Jessica Jones, I don't know, it feels like it should be in, like, I know it's done, but like it definitely felt like it was done, that they weren't really going to be coming up with something new, because in a way it felt like they were just kind of reworking the same kind of tropes. It's okay. I mean, it's not like I didn't enjoy it, because I did. It's just, it wasn't, the thing that was gonna get me all hyped up about things and whatnot. With Riverdale, the only cool note I can say about it is the way that they mirrored the way that the story was being told with the game that's kind of central to the third season. So that is a cool feature of the third season, but overall it's another bingeable, I can turn my brain off kind of TV show. And that's okay that those exist, because sometimes those need to exist. Moving on. The books that I listened to, the early cases of Hercule Poirot, I want to say, I think it was like 25 different like short stories that were initially posted or published before Agatha Christie came out with like the full-fledged novels. And it was really cool listening to the early cases. I mean, if you enjoy the Agatha Christie novels, you'll just enjoy this because it's, it's Agatha Christie. The other book that I read was Once and Future. Overall, I enjoyed it. It's definitely a different take. It is, as the title suggests, about Arthurian legend, and the way that they have it set up is that there are multiple iterations of King Arthur, and the Merlin is the only like constant, if you will. Like, Merlin remembers absolutely everything about every single iteration of Arthur there's ever been. So Merlin has to go and find whoever the Arthur is, train them, and make sure that this cycle actually comes to a close. So what makes this particular iteration of it different than what, all the other iterations of Arthur there were, is Arthur's a girl. They try to, make it different in its own respectful right, because this is a futuristic kind of story, a little bit of sci-fi in with it. But there were just some things that, I don't know, kind of annoyed me about it. I can't remember exactly what they are at the time of filming this video, but I do remember not being overly wowed and loving the story like I enjoy most of the stories that are based in Arthurian legend. Arthurian legend has a very special spot in my heart, and it's not that I want to see it. I feel like it's been desecrated or anything because of what they did to the story. It just didn't hook me enough to where it's like, oh no, I need to know what's next. It was this is going to get me through my my commute. Yeah, no, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I mean, like, I liked it. There were definitely parts that I really enjoyed, and it made me laugh and it made me feel things, but then there are other parts, and it's those parts that kind of just make me pull back from the story of like, I don't know, it's hard for me to say, yes, everyone should go read it. I mean, if you like Arthurian legend, take a look at it. I went to a Fathom event that was showing the production of Kinky Boots. And so if you're not familiar with the story, Kinky Boots was originally a film in 2007. It was not a musical in that iteration of it. But then they made it into a musical, and it's been on Broadway. And I honestly, because I have seen both, I prefer the musical over the original film. And I think there's just something about the way that the music was crafted and that the lyrics were written that it tells the story better, and it reaches in and connects with anybody a lot more, and I love that. Last thing that I saw in the month of June was the movie Yesterday, which is kind of like what would happen if the world all of a sudden forgot who the Beatles were, but there's a person who remembers who they are. what would that look like? And if you've seen the trailer, because I'm not going to give anything away that's not already in the trailer. In the trailer you see that the one person who remembers who the Beatles are chooses to make a whole music career out of it because that's what they've been wanting. They've been wanting to be a musician. Overall, the story isn't horrible. There are just specific aspects of it that I'm like, I'm actually kind of let down by this. So I am definitely more give me a good story over entertaining. Doesn't mean that there's not a time and place for that, but that's generally my initial outlook on things. With that being said, the way that this movie was done, it definitely, you can see the human aspect of it where you're truly deciding, because at the beginning he does say, no, like it's the Beatles, you know, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, like they're the ones that wrote these songs. And because no one remembers who that is, no one believes him. They think that he wrote it, and so he makes the choice to run with it, and that creates issues in his own life. And the thing that made me question whether or not it was actually all that great is you had certain bits that they kept doing over and over again, and I understand the purpose of it in the sense of it was poking fun at the music industry and how hard it is to get into the music industry and what it is that they do once you do get in there. But because it all came from one specific character and out of one specific actor's mouth, it felt like you were beating a dead horse, and that just, meh. And also every now and then there were a couple of plot holes that they just had kind of glaring, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense. So there's that too. That is all that I consumed in the month of June when it came to media. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share. I do my best to make videos on Sundays. Doesn't always happen, as proven by my absence for the last several months. But I'm hoping that I'm kind of back in a space where I can actually do this because I have missed creating content. So that's it for me. I will see you next video. Bye.